All right, we are live. This is Rediscovering Black Conservatism, episode 15, with a very special guest. I want to introduce Joe Collins, running for CA 43. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm blessed. How about yourself?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, I'm blessed. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello? Yeah, glitching a little bit.
Okay, can you hear me now?
A little bit.
Okay. You coming through just fine. You coming through just fine on my side. So I'm not 100% certain what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know. You're glitching a little bit. I don't know. It seemed like you're frozen. Okay. Okay, we good now. All right. So we're here with Joe Collins. For all the people that just tuned in that don't know, he's running against Maxine Waters. So we just want to find out from him, since you've been campaigning down in a heavy blue state, what's the reception been like? Has you been interacting with the people?
For me, my reception has been pretty positive. I think part of the reason is because I'm from South Central Los Angeles, born and raised. Me being a Republican was a choice that I decided to make after I joined the military. And, to live in my truth, I decided to run as a Republican too, regardless of all of the negativity people came with at first. But now, since we've been very active in the community, we've been doing job fairs, back to school drives, food pantries on a regular basis, as well as advertising and letting people know what it is we plan on doing with the community. I mean, we're being received pretty good.
That's great, man. I'm glad to hear that. So what kind of messaging points are you conveying to the people to make them see that the Republican Party is not the boogie monster? What kind of messaging out there?
I think for me, we try to not talk about the political party preference, right? Because we know in South Central Los Angeles, there hasn't been any party who has actually done anything for our community. I mean, we have one of the poorest districts in the United States, the worst education, and things like that. So when we talk to people, we stick to the basics. We stick to education. We stick to giving jobs back to the community. We speak about police reform and financial literacy. So we keep it very basic. I don't think people who have lived in poverty for so long can talk about federal issues or political party. I think we need to get back on our feet first, and then after we get on our feet, then we can move towards which party is the best party for us.
Right. This year I've noticed that there's a lot of Black Republicans that are running for office. So just for all the people out there, can you tell them how is your run and your administration going to be different from Maxine Waters?
Well, for one, we're visible in the community. And the second thing is we're not just campaigning, we're actually working in the district as if I was already in office. And people see that. I mean, with our job fairs, our back to school drives, working on different programs for our schools towards education, people see that we actually care about the community, and I'm from the community, and we do a lot of things for the community. So being visible and actually representing the people in a manner that is necessary has been very beneficial for our campaign. And it's something that I look forward to doing even after I'm elected into office.
Right. That's very good. And you touched on something very good that I think we as Black Republicans on this show, we always talk about, which is education. Can you let the people know what is your stance on education? What do you plan to do for the residents of South Central LA as far as education is concerned?
Well, with education, we have to overhaul our education system, period. I mean, we're ranking number 47 out of 50. We teeter-totter between 47 and 48. But what I want to do is I want to reimagine the education system. I want to rebuild the high schools. I want to use the Texas model high schools and bring that to South LA. I think that if you give our youth something different to look at, something positive to look at, something that they can be proud of, then you will change the outlook and the perspective of the youth that we have in our district. And so reimagining the education, overhaul the education, getting more newer, more positive education into our education system is going to benefit us tremendously. I want to put an emphasis on college prep, career training and certification in STEM. I think those are the ways to the future, and those are one thing that I want to bring to our younger generation. I mean, it's this Common Core education we have in South Central Los Angeles is absolutely failing. We have a 77% graduation rate. We need to get that to 99%. We have a 22% college graduation rate. We need to get that up to 80%. But overall, I want to create a positive climate for our students in an atmosphere of a brand new type of school that they can be successful.
Right. That's definitely important. For all those that don't know, like I said, once again, this is Joe Collins. He's running against Maxine Waters, and I just want to let everybody know he needs all the support that he can get. You can go on his website. You can donate. If you want to volunteer, you can volunteer and just, be a part of the cause to usher in a new era, and they need it in LA. Another thing that I think is important I want to address, it's a tough time for candidates because we're on the backdrop of civil unrest. And, from state to state, city to city, there's calls from police reform. And there's no politician on either side of the aisle that's exempt from that conversation. So once you get in office, obviously, that's a conversation that's going to be in front and center. So where do you stand as far as police reform and the civil unrest? Because I know people in your community care about that issue. Yeah, so where do you stand on that?
When it comes to police reform, I am pro police reform. I don't think that the entire law enforcement agency is bad. Just like every organization, you're going to have bad apples. But police reform is something that we've been working on ever since we got back from protesting against police brutality when George Floyd was murdered. But we also rolled on sorry politicians who use the police force as a punching bag to make up for the fact that they've failed when it comes to policy making. And so we've been able to get some tremendous strides when it comes to police reforms. We're looking over laws in Los Angeles that could be weaponized and used to target people in the inner cities. We work with the community, but we also work with the sheriff's department. We've moved violent Black Lives Matter protests from South Central Los Angeles because we don't want to be another CHOP zone or Chaz zone or another Portland, Oregon, or New York or Chicago. And so we've been very successful at working with both sides when it comes to reforms, but there's a lot of work to be done, which is why when I'm elected, this is going to be one of the major pushes that we're going to have with our campaign. We need social construct training within our police department and sheriff's department, within our law enforcement in general. This means that we need the law enforcement to stop looking at every single Black person as criminals. We need them to start looking at us as individuals who are following the culture, following fads when it comes to the way we dress, the way we act, and everything like that. And so we need our officers to understand that we're in South Central Los Angeles. It's different from Arizona. It's different from Washington State. It's different from any other city or state that you've ever been in. And so we need these law enforcement agents to understand that, just because a person looks a certain way doesn't mean that person is a criminal. And so we're going to be getting a push further after I'm elected into office on this training for the social construct.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I want to highlight something I think you push back on. What I've noticed, and I've heard you say this, basically what I'm hearing from you is that you're taking accountability for where you live at. And for leadership, that's very important because I feel like Maxine Waters has used those slogans that's close to people's heart, whether it's Blue Lives Matter or Black. She's politically weaponized it and turned it into, just people wanting to be destructive and not working within the system that they're given to push for change. And what I hear from you, which I like to hear from candidates, is taking accountability. And don't get me wrong, I believe in freedom of speech. I believe it's your right to protest, whether you want blue lives or Black lives. But I want people to hear that slogans will not get you the change you need. You need leadership that's going to take bold moves. So I definitely respect you on that. And that's what we need. Another thing I think it's important for, as a Black Republican coming up to address is criminal justice reform. Let the people know where you stand on criminal justice reform.
I think we are way past due when it comes to criminal justice reform. I know President Trump passed the First Step Act, and that's not enough. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of people, especially with the marijuana industry coming into play. We have a lot of people who are in prison because of marijuana. So whenever we legalize marijuana, we should also, remove those people from prison. There's a lot of cases where guys are going to jail who are absolutely innocent, and the criminal justice system has absolutely failed them. And, with the president putting more judges on the bench, he also needs to allow the opportunity for more attorneys to get put into the our criminal justice system when it comes to each individual city, and not just liberal but conservative as well, because we need that balance. Right now in LA, we have District Attorney Jackie Lacey, and she is probably one of the most corrupt, awful district attorneys that we've ever had. And I'm assuming that every single inner city that's predominantly Black has a Jackie Lacey or some sort. And so what we have to do is you have to be able to create that balance and get people elected into office who have a vested interest in seeing fairness when it comes to justice and the Constitution of the United States.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and the question I wanted to ask you is because Maxine Waters, I remember being a kid watching TV and seeing Maxine Waters in this same political position. Though, in your walks of talking with the people, do you think they vote for her out of habit? Like, is it the machine that's propelling her? Like, because she's not, like you said, she's not out there. She's not in force. So do you think it's a force of habit? They like just used to seeing her face and that's why they vote for her for 20 years?
I think they voted for Maxine Waters because they've honestly never had anybody go after Maxine Waters' head or really put some type of effort into campaigning and raising money in order to beat Maxine Waters. And so it all goes back to name recognition. You don't know the guy she's running against because you never heard his name or anything like that. Now we have a legitimate shot at beating Maxine Waters. I mean, we're up in the polls right now, and we have a lot of support. Even though we don't have the endorsement of the White House, President Trump, the RNC, NRCC, but the people in the United States, the people in the district support us and they love what it is that we've been able to do. So, you know, they vote for strictly because they haven't had a presence running against Maxine Waters.
Right. That makes sense. Definitely. Because I really think that the people, you know, really deserve better when it comes to what's happening in our cities and our states. So let me ask you a question. Everybody knows or should know your background in the U.S. Navy. How has the U.S. Navy prepared you for this job? What kind of skills you feel the Navy has given you?
I think that when it comes to using the experience that I got from the U.S. Navy, leadership is definitely one of them. 13 and a half year U.S. Navy veteran. We learned a lot of skills and also resilience, you know, and everybody be like, well, it's an uphill battle. It's going to be really hard this, really hard that. And I sit there and I say, well, it ain't worse than being in Iraq, you know, so I have something to compare hard times to. And in Iraq, you know, you lose everything when you go to Iraq and come back. And just the, you know, being able to, I was a recruiter, so being able to get people on board the team has made us very successful as well. We have Democrats, Republicans, Independents, Libertarians, Constitutionalists, Green Party. We have everybody on our team, and it's a testament to the leadership that I have, you know, that I gained from the military. And so, you know, they actually helped me out. I wouldn't be able to get in politics if it wasn't for the U.S. Navy, right? I became a presidential candidate while I was on active duty. And it was gray area-ish. And so I got the option to accept an administrative separation, general and honorable conditions, and pursue politics or drop politics and stay in the military. And I'm like, you know, 13 and a half years, you know, the military is becoming mundane. Everything is simple. I want another challenge. I want to go help rebuild the country. And so it was an easy choice. And it was one that I gladly and proudly accepted.
Right. That's very good. I just want to encourage people, for those that don't know, this is Joe Collins. You can go on his website. You can donate to him. Please donate. Please volunteer. If you're in the state of California, please do not sit on the sidelines. Please donate. Please volunteer your time or your energy. It's very important that we get Maxine Waters out of office. Everybody who has a TV probably knows who Maxine Waters is, but it's not the amount of time you've been in the position. It's the amount of leadership that you bring to the table. So we definitely is going to need this guy in the office serving the people of LA. And one more question here we want to get into. Well, how are you on pushing entrepreneurship? I know that's a big thing in the Republican Party. How are you speaking to people in South Central LA as far as home ownership and entrepreneur? And what are you getting back from the people as far as those topics?
Yeah, entrepreneurship is absolutely important to me. I just brought a guy on board my team from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to be teaching people in our community how to start businesses from zero and utilizing government contracts in order to get a lot of wealth and make money with the businesses. And so, you know, we also have an entrepreneurship course that we put together. We got it approved by CTE as well as the school board. And we're going to be getting out into the schools once the schools open back up in California, they say after the November election. And so, entrepreneurship is absolutely important. Everybody want to be the boss. So now we're going to teach you how to legitimately be the boss. You know what I'm saying? You can keep your 9-to-5 jobs. We're going to have that option as well. We're going to be in quality jobs back to our community. But, entrepreneurship is one of my biggest passions. And so I look forward to helping a lot of people in our community who want to start small businesses start that.
Definitely. Once again, everybody, I just keep saying it because it's really important. Please donate Joe Collins for Congress. Like I said, he's running against Maxine Waters. We need her out of office. We need true leadership down there in LA. We need it. I encourage everybody to donate your time. If you can donate some money, please do that. This is a fine gentleman, and and this is real leadership that California needs. And one last thing. And you brought up something very important. It's a big thing that I feel like we have struggled with inside of the party is the decriminalization of marijuana. And I really feel like, it's time that we take a second look at those policies and just for the people, just let them know where you at on decriminalization of marijuana and,
Yeah, I think that, marijuana is probably one of the most harmless but effective drugs when it comes to science and medicine. And so I'm all for, the recreational use as well as medical use of marijuana. And when it comes to reform, I think that a lot of people who are locked up because of, marijuana possession or what have you should be released from prison. And the big thing is, we're still waiting for the Treasury to put something in place to where people can use the money that they made from sales of marijuana to flow through the United States. It'll be a great boost to the United States economy. It'll be a great boost to all the cities and states that approve the use of marijuana sales. And so, I would absolutely say that I'm pro recreational marijuana. Not at work though. Not at work at all. I mean, you have to be able to function. But for medical use and for small recreational use, I mean, it's pretty effective when it comes to handling situations such as people with PTSD, people with trauma, and these things have been proven. And so yes, I am pro MJ.
Right, correct. That's very good. Like I said, for everybody don't know, we know you're a very busy man, and you have to hit the campaign trail once again.
Yes.
Please stand up for Joe Collins for Congress. For all you that don't know his positions, you can log on his website. You can rewind this. You can get a taste of what he stands for and who he is as a man. And we just want to thank you for coming on and spending the little time that you have with us. And we know you're busy, and we appreciate it, man. And good luck to you. And we hope to see you out there, in a leadership position this November 3rd. And we thank you for coming out.
All right, for sure. Thanks, man. God bless you.
All right. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. All right.